Next 5 to 7 minutes, I'm going to show you an exact process on how to get fingerprinting clients for your fingerprinting business, what is going to bring those clients in, and I'm even going to give you a flow chart on the screen, and I'm going to send it to you in a link so that you can keep it on your desktop for when you're operating your fingerprinting business. This is going to be the process to go through. Check it out. It's going to be great. All right, so as you can see here, we have a flow chart for the journey of how customers find your fingerprinting business, how they're going to interact with the business, whether or not you can service them or can't service them, why you're going to be able to service them, why you're not going to be able to service them, and then what to do if you can service them, which obviously is going to be charging them money for your service. So we're going to start with the first three. Number one, Google search. Google search is very important. So Google search is probably going to be about 80% of your results. Google search is going to come from the form of an organic search. So that's going to be your website popping up for search terms like FBI fingerprinting, Bethesda, Maryland, or FINRA fingerprinting, Ohio, Columbus. Those things are going to be organic search results. Number two is going to be Google My Business listings, otherwise known as Google Maps listings. This is probably going to account for approximately 60% of your revenue and of your organic search results within Google. So Google search, separate that into two separate buckets: organic search, meaning your website, and then Google My Business search, aka Google Maps, is going to come up. That's going to be approximately 60 to 70% of your revenue, of your traffic from Google search. The other 30 to 40% is going to come from organic search results within your website. Number two is going to be referrals. So referrals are super, super important. Referrals are going to come from your previous customers, going to come from friends and family. It's going to come from people who you don't even remember, that remember you and are going to tell their friends and family about your business. Number three. So number three is going to be advertising. And advertising usually comes in the form of Google ads. For the most part, it should always come in the form of Google ads. Do not do Facebook ads for fingerprinting. Do not do LinkedIn ads for fingerprinting. Do not do YouTube ads for fingerprinting unless you're selling fingerprinting startup programs and live scan devices. Then obviously do YouTube ads like I do on this channel, or that we do, or that PrintScan does for their live scan hardware and software. Then obviously do YouTube ads, but just know that you're going to be competing with us. That's okay. Competition is healthy, but advertising for your business, if you're doing fingerprinting services, always going to come in the form of Google ads. We have a whole training specifically on Google ads. If you want more information on Google ads, we have a link down below with how you can get more information on doing Google ads for your fingerprinting business. Now, if we get into this, all three of these buckets, all three of these places that customers are going to come from, they're going to have the first interaction with your business. So the first interaction, the greeting, the handshake, the icebreaker, what's going to happen when a customer interacts with your business for the first time ever? It's going to come in the form of an email, a phone call, or they're just going to book a damn appointment. Now, all three of those are very exciting. One of those is going to be your most volume, and that's going to be phone calls. So your first interaction for the most part is going to be phone calls, and that's going to come to your first response. So your first response, think of it this way, of an analogy. If you're looking to get into the dating world and you're looking to, you know what, I don't want to be single anymore, I want to settle down. When somebody comes and says hello to you at the supermarket, do you respond with "let's get married"? Obviously not. You'd be a creep. You'd probably get arrested from whatever happens afterwards on to that. So your first response with fingerprinting should not be the same way. Your first response with fingerprinting, or for fingerprinting customers who want the service from your business, should be some type of question. And that question should come in the form of, "What do you need, Mr. Customer?" That's going to lead us to our next segment in the flow chart is, can you service this person, right? That should be your first question. That should be your first thought in your head, because you don't want to spend a lot of time on people that you cannot perform a service for. So the dirty little secret, and one of the drawbacks with fingerprinting, is every single state in the United States is totally different. Alaska has a different process than California, then New York, then Michigan, then Indiana, then Kentucky, then Louis, St. K, whatever. I just threw in a popular comedian there who maybe had some controversy about a year or 2 years ago, whatever. But can you service this person depending on what state you're in? Some states are totally open where you can service everybody. Some states are closed where you can only service a few subset of customers. Some states are hybrids where you can service some, but not others. And you'll need to find out by asking the customer who gives their first interaction a question of saying, why do you need to get fingerprinted? And you'll need to learn this as you go on. If you've been operating a fingerprinting business for a while, you'll know what to ask and you'll know who you can and can't service. If you don't own a fingerprinting business, you have no idea what you're doing, click the link down below because we can help you out. I'm not going to put any more of a shameless plug in here. If that was funny to you, or if you've laughed at any point during this video, give it a like because it's going to help me out in the algorithm. Let's continue to move on. So if it is no, please send them to the correct business. Do not service them and do not give them something that they don't need because it's going to come back to bite you. I firmly believe in karma, which is why I try to do the right thing on this channel. Make sure if you cannot service the customer, please send them to the right place. You could even call the right place and come up with some type of business agreement to say, hey, listen, every single customer that I send you, you pay me $2. Sound familiar? So now let's move on to if you can service somebody. If you can service somebody, then the immediate thing that you're going to do is you're going to book a time and lock them in. We're not going to go over price just yet. There is a little bit of a dirty trick with this, but stick with me because it's going to make sense. So book a time and lock them in. If you're doing mobile fingerprinting only, ask them exactly where they live. Tell them that you'll be able to come out to them and you'll do a mobile fingerprinting session. Book a time and lock them into that time. Get them to say yes first to a time and a place before you quote them a price. Because here's what's going to happen. Most customers don't know how much fingerprinting really is. Most customers are not happy with that price. But here's the thing about fingerprinting. They need it. It's non-negotiable. It's not a service that they can choose to have. It's a service that they need to get done. Now we're on to the last and final step in the flowchart. That's going to be collecting payment. Collecting payment is the best part. That's the best part to me. Collecting payment should be the best part to everybody else. Collecting payment can also go in a few separate ways. If you have any type of payment gateway software, or if you have e-commerce functionality on your website, make sure that you capture the sale for that appointment right then and there. And that's if you're on the phone. If it's through email, send them to your website to where they can book a time and pay for the service. If it is through just a regular appointment booking, make sure that you charge either some type of deposit or anything like that, because what's going to happen is people are going to book times on your website. People are going to book times on your Acuity or your Calendly or whatever other software, the crazy cockamania software that you use to schedule your appointments these days. We use customly developed software. That's just what we tend to do in our business. But if you're using anything else, that's fine as well. Make sure that you capture some type of payment, because what's going to happen is people are going to book appointments. They're not going to show up. They're going to jam pack your calendar. It's going to make you upset. It's not going to be a good time. So make sure you charge some type of money and collect payment. If you're doing a phone call, make sure to grab the payment over the phone, because this way everything's paid. Your time has now been done as the business owner. Your job has been done. The only thing that you have to do is service that person. Make sure that the service is professional. Make sure you know what you're doing. And again, if you need any help with this, click that link down below. We'll be able to guide you to exactly what resources you're going to need. If you need materials, live scan hardware, software, educational materials, or just even a free course, which we give out to anybody who asks, make sure you click it down below. Otherwise, I hope this video was jam-packed with value. I did not go over any fluff. We did a lot of cuts this video. It's as fast as possible. Make sure you watch all my other videos down below. And as always, have a profitable day and have fun with creating your